Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. And tonight I'm going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite television shows. This is one that, much like so many others, like Friends, like Seinfeld, like the Battlestar Galactica remake, I never once saw it while it was on during its original run. I discovered it many years later, by watching clips on YouTube or kind of seeing it in reruns. Ended up watching the series, binging it in a month or two. Absolutely loved it. Became one of my all-time favorites, and that is How I Met Your Mother. This is such an amazing series. What an amazing cast. How well they play off each other, and I even like the ending. So that's what I'm going to talk about tonight. If you have been enjoying my channel, please subscribe. Hit the little notification bell so whenever I do post a new video, you'll be the first to know. I try to do them on a fairly regular basis when I started the channel, but unfortunately, life goes on. 2020 has been crazy, and we're approaching the holidays, so I don't do them as often as I want to. But when I do get some free time, I kind of, double up, do a few if I can, and kind of spread them out. So if you like the video, please give it a like. Leave me something in the comments, something you like about the video, something you don't like. If you're a fan of How I Met Your Mother, tell me something you like about it. So anyway, what an amazing show, guys. Like I said, I had heard about it. One of our best friends in Louisiana was a big fan of the show, and he was always telling me about it. I never had a chance, or either the time, the effort, the will, whatever it was, I never watched it. But once we finally sat down and watched it, I was like, oh my God, this show is amazing. I mean, just the humor, the tenderness, the cast, like their rapport almost was better than Friends. I mean, just they played so well off each other. I mean, there's so many classic things, and it lasted for 9 seasons. Obviously the title of the show, How I Met Your Mother. When you get to season 9, you finally kind of meet the mother, and you get the end of the story. But just getting there was amazing. Neil Patrick Harris is hysterical in the show as he always is. Allison Hannigan is amazing in the show. I was never a fan of Jason Segel until I saw this show. This show kind of warmed me up to him. Josh Radnor, the main character, Ted, is telling his kids the story of how he met the mother. And, Robin, played by Kobe Smulders, or however you say her name, just they were so amazing together. And I mean, there's so many things about this show that I absolutely love. Just Marshall and Lily are two of the other main characters. They've been best friends with Ted since college. They hang out at this bar called McLaren's in New York City with Barney, played by Neil Patrick Harris. So it's kind of like the four of them. And in the pilot episode, Ted looks across the bar and he sees Robin, the one played by Colby Smulders, and he just kind of falls head over feet for her. And so Barney kind of helps him, introduce himself, and they kind of bond really well. They go out on their first date. They end up kind of making out, and something weird happens, and they stay friends. But it's like the whole series kind of starts off right there. Now the series is also there's a lot of flashbacks and flash forwards, which is kind of funny. Like I know it can be hard to keep up with sometimes, but it's just a really funny aspect of the show. The other main section of the show is Bob Saget is voicing Ted in the future, telling his two children about How I Met Your Mother. So that's kind of season one all the way up to the finale. But it's just this whole story about Ted was he's in love with Robin, but it didn't work out. They kind of dated for a while. They didn't, on and off. She dated Barney, Neil Patrick Harris's character. Lily and Marshall are kind of like the rock of the group. They break up for a little while. It's all about being young and relationships and bonds and your friends and all the things that I miss a lot about the modern world that I talk about in my Facebook post a lot. You don't really have that community, or at least I don't anymore. I had that when I was younger, but it's gotten a lot lonelier as I've gotten older because everybody's just so spread out everywhere. I've got great friends, but nobody's around to hang out at McLaren's like they do in practically every episode here. But I mean, it's one of those series. It's so great. I'd want you to experience it yourself. I don't want to spoil anything in there. I mean, I can kind of talk about a few little things, but I really don't want to spoil too much in there. But like I said, basically, Marshall and Lily are married. They're the secondary characters. Ted is the primary character, and it's all about people he's dated, these women that he's dated, leading up to when he meets the mother. And it's just it all blends into something else. It's all interconnected. Robin has the on and off thing with Ted over and over again, and then she ends up marrying Barney for a while. And Barney, he's like the player. He's the one night stand guy, and he's doing all this crazy stuff to date women and bed women and whatnot. But he's got his kind of tender side, and he really does care about his friends, even though he kind of seems like he doesn't. He's almost always in his suit. I think maybe 9 times in 9 seasons he was not in a suit. He was always well dressed and whatnot. And it's just kind of a funny thing how he's so fond of his suits and whatnot. Robin was the only Canadian. She's like the awkward Canadian having come to America. And in the course of the series, they find out that she had been a pop star in Canada, so like she kind of hid that part of her life. And it's just really funny what like in the episodes when they go back and watch videos of that, because it's like so in her mind innocent but so dirty when you watch it too, so it's just really funny. um there's so many long running gags in this show, things that always harken back to the from the beginning of the series, like that carries all the way to the end. There's something about doppelgangers, like they all all the 5 main characters see their doppelgangers, and there's things in the show that like, well, we have to wait until we see the doppelganger to do this, and just like I said, so many great moments. They've got one of the most famous elements of the show is called the slap bet. That goes on for a couple of seasons. That is just hysterical. I don't want to spoil that for you. I've got some friends that have like talked about this show with, and again, I would love to sit here and tell you 9 years worth of the inside jokes and episodes that I love, and I mean, just it's just so amazing. It's really up there. I mean, it. I'll put it to you this way: I was kind of in a tough spot in my life when I discovered the series, and when I watched it, my wife and I watched the entire series. It probably took us maybe month, 2 months, 3 months, however much it was. After dinner, we'd watch a few episodes, before we went to sleep or whatnot. It was like when I finished the show, I was like almost not heartbroken, but sad because it was like, one, it's over. There's no more, to intake, and it kind of like ruined me for any other show for a little while. I couldn't watch anything because like nothing would top this. It was that good. Um, the last season gets a whole lot of flack, and there's a lot of controversy. Um, all right, spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear this, you can stop the video now. The very last season, we finally meet the mother. Okay. And it's a shame that she was only on that last season. She was an amazing actress. She played that role so good. I mean, just wow. I mean, like, she just blended right in as if she had been there the whole time. Ted had been dating all these different women in the series, and there's a lot of polls that people talk about, like their favorite ones that he dated versus I particularly like this one that was like I think her name was Victoria. She's kind of like a baker that he had an on and off thing with her a couple of times. I thought she was like probably the best, not counting the mother and Robin. I really liked her character. He dated some psychos, as did Barney. It just anyway, you get to the last season, and he finally meets the mother, and he starts telling the story about that. The controversy therein lies in, okay, really, spoiler alert, cover your ears for 10 seconds. He finally meets the mother, and he finally has the life he wants. And, all these different things that happened to him along the way, they all led to this point. Like, everything in life happens for a reason, as trivial as it seems. And he finally meets the mother, and they get married, they have kids, and then he loses her. The mom dies. They don't really say what disease caused it, but she dies, which is, and they're like, so I know, okay, and with the spoiler alert, so I can understand why the fans were very upset about that, because it's like you build up 9 seasons to the mother, being the ultimate end game of the story that you've been telling, and then you kill her off. You know what I mean? So like, I get why people were upset, but I wasn't upset. I enjoyed the ending. I thought it was great. I mean, yeah, okay, you build up to this whole thing, and then I get it. I get the frustration. Okay, but it kind of circled back around to the pilot episode where, again, I just did a major spoiler. I'm going to let you finish the rest of it. Um, Suffice to say, a lot of people hate the ending. I personally loved it. I had no problem with it. I thought it came full circle, and I love the journey, man. I mean, this was just such an amazing show, such an amazing cast. Allison Hannigan and Josh Radnor, Lily and Ted. The last season, they just had a lot of episodes together. They had this whole centric thing going on where like 5 or 6 episodes, it was pretty much just focused on the two of them having been best friends for years. And I think those were the best episodes of the series. I mean, they were just so like, you can tell the love and the respect and the honor amongst these two, went beyond the characters. Like, just they were amazing together. I think they stole the scenes in every one of those episodes, and just you could feel the tenderness. I mean, it was just so freaking amazing. This is one of those shows. Okay, it gets a bad rap because the bro code and the whole chauvinistic male thing. Okay, I get it. I get that too. But I mean, you got to sit there and watch this show. I mean, comedy, the flash forward, the flashback, yes, but beyond the comedy, it's like just there's this love and tenderness and respect that all these characters have for one another, and the bond they have. It's just amazing. Like I said, Friends is notorious for being one of the best shows as far as the bonds that people have, but I really think this could be argued to be better. Just an amazing show, guys. I could sit here for hours and tell you all the things I love about the show, but I want you guys to experience it. Other than the fact I spoiled it for you, but anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel. Hit the little notification bell so you'll find out when I post a new video. Leave a comment, like the video, tell me something you loved about it, something you didn't like about it, tell me something you loved about the series, something you didn't love about the series. I apologize, I did kind of spoil it for you, but again, it's been out for a couple of years. But guys, if you're bored, I believe it's on Hulu. I picked up this set for like 30-40 bucks or something in Best Buy. Just an amazing show. Give it a chance. It's not just humor. There is a lot of deeply emotional, amazing bonds, friendship things. Again, because I missed some of that in my life, that's why I kind of gravitated to this show so much. But give it a shot. I definitely think you'll like it, and I will see you in the next video.